say no. So I'm calling this, just make this up, all right? I'm calling this the Just Say No campaign. And we'll have to work collegially as a team to support each other as the pressure comes on, as we know it will. So that's what lies ahead. We're not stopping, we're accelerating. And meanwhile, we've got bunches of nurses around the country who are taking their own actions independently of these actions. We've got in Christchurch, they have balloted for 4 2-hour strikes in 2 weeks' time, going across 4 days, because they've just had enough. And in fact, in Christchurch, they, in their ED, they've already filed a legal challenge against the failure to staff properly. In Whangarei, they're putting a ban on performing work outside of their ward. All right? So no redeployment. And so that'll be in 2 weeks' time. I'll put it on for a week, but I'm not sure how long that'll be. But it'll be a good chance to look at it. Then in Auckland, in Ward 4, likewise, they put a ban on working outside their ward. And then we've got a bunch of really grumpy district nurses. I don't know if there are any district nurses here. You know what grumpy means, right? In North Shore and Waitakere, who are talking about a clothing ban, no, wearing t-shirts when they ban. Don't tell them what's in there. And that's just a precursor to the fact they're going to have to take more serious action because of the serious understaffing that they face. And I really admire the way these groups have organised themselves. So what we want you to consider also is your own version of those actions. So we have a national consistency, but with individual hospitals taking actions around individual things. All right? And I'm not going to tell you what that is, whatever you work with, you know better than me. All we have to do is we take the strike ballot, 2 weeks' notice, and then you do the action. I'm just really interested to know what LPS is going to look like. Battle ahead of us. Essentially, just by way of finishing it, to come back to Waikato, it's really out there that this hospital and its environs are a group of members that have long stood up for what they believe. And Ron told part of that story before with me. I think you are really clear about this dichotomy of budget versus need. You know what's right for nurses and their patients and for whānau. The other question I put up to you right now is, will you stand up again for it? Yes. Will you? Give me a decent yell. Will you stand up again for it? Yes. One more time. This one will go all the way to the hospital. Will you stand up again for it? Yes. Well done. I hear you're up for it. Let's do it. Kia kaha, kia kaha, kia kaha. Thank you. Cheers.
And now, has anybody got a question for Paul that they would like to ask?
Kia ora. I just want to ask, why did you pick the Waikato to come to the speak today?
It wasn't because of your rugby team. Alright, I'll get that past that. It was interesting, it was a challenge. I had a meeting with a bunch of delegates at the hospital a couple of weeks ago, and they said to me, we want to do something different, we want to do a march. I said, if you do a march, I'll come up to it.
Measures that we plan to take, they are all legal. We're able to do those. I'm just sort of asking a question around legality or those sorts of things.
Yeah. And I met this questioner on the march, and she's got a massively long period of time as a nurse, so congratulations for that. The answer is yes, it's legal, because we just have to define what the action is. They're all strikes, okay? That's why we have to do the ballot and then the 2-week notice. They're all strikes. Even wearing a different t-shirt from your garment is a strike under our law. We didn't write the law, so yes, we can do all of that stuff with it. And even to the extent you can call strikes on and off, as we did in Palmerston last night. We called it off when the system crashed and then called it back on again this morning because we had the legal cover to do it. Now, we will be challenged, but the government will force the whātua to challenge us. But, okay, that means they're hurting, doesn't it? That means it's a good thing. So, and it's interesting, these other actions of Auckland and Whangarei and Christchurch are essentially almost like pilots. They almost test things for this. So we've got to be we've got to box smart. We've got to be not expose people to too much risk, and we've got to ensure that the financial issues are protected as far as possible. The government passed a piece of law a couple of months ago around partial strikes. And this was to deal with situations, for example, where secondary teachers would refuse to teach, say, French on Mondays and chemistry on Tuesdays. And that allows an employer to make a deduction in a partial strike based on how much economic damage they think has occurred. And if they can't work that out, there is a sort of minimum 10% they would just take. Now, with these actions that we're talking about, that is a risk, not on the overtime call-out, because there's a loophole in the legislation around that, but for those other actions, which these other nurses I've just told you about will be facing, is that risk of 10%. That's why it's really important not to have to ask nurses, to keep taking a whole day off, because you've all got commitments with it. So we're balancing all those different things together, and we've got really good legal advice. Peter Cranny, who's the lawyer that helped us in the pay equity thing a couple of years ago, he's great. So we're taking legal advice every step of the way, but we will end up in court because we will be challenged because they've got nothing else left, right? And we're happy to go to court at any time, and just like those Gisborne nurses who went on strike a couple of years ago, and that little Gisborne, they stood up and they dragged them into court, and we won hands down.
Hi, thanks for being here. I did ask this in our little delegate meeting, but I think it's all relevant and hopefully you'll talk back. We see that Te Whātua is manhandled by the government, so why aren't we directing everything to the government? Why aren't we? Ice cream? Why aren't we now saying that stating the obvious? We see that Te Whātua are being pushed aside, things are getting changed if it's not going the government's way. Why aren't we expressing that more strongly and getting answers working that way?
Two things. So the first thing we do, you won't hear, you'll see in every media release, whatever we do, we talk about the government now. Everything's about the government. That's why Simeon Brown came out, because they were feeling the heat around the attack being on the government. So that you see how it actually works. So everything we say now is about the government failing to fund the necessary resourcing to get enough nurses to care for patient safety. That essentially is the narrative, and we test that and it works really well. So that's the first thing. Why aren't we attacking the government in a political sense? Because NZNO is apolitical and that a-party political, not political, it's highly political. But we will now, increasingly, as we wind it up, take on the three major coalition parties, but also means we have to bring the opposition parties along, because I'm not hearing the promises, and so I challenge you here, to line up your part of the political equation to seek out the promises. So the politics, the target is the coalition government, but we need to lift the other parties as well. But you'll see we've shifted the whole narrative very quickly away from the whakawara to the government this, the government that, the government this and that. Okay? So your point's well made.
Well, thank you. I don't see any more hands up. Now, I know Bradley, our organiser as well with NZNO, would like to say a short word or two. And then I think we've got, Sheree would like to just say something, and then we're having the closing part of here for here. And then we're going to make our way back collectively to the hospital down to the rain corner. I appreciate the rain did do the right thing for us this morning and held off. It is a bit out there, but at least it's got down here dry. Yeah.
Thank you. There's just three things I really quickly want to say whilst we're all in the room. I firstly want to thank the delegates for all their help. I know I certainly couldn't have coped with the pressures of the last a few weeks without them, so thank you. Appreciate it. I secondly really want to thank my team, Sandy, Annie, Nat, Jess, my colleagues Francis and Nigel for all their help too. This kind of event is never done in isolation, it's done together, and we band together as a team and we get this done, and we sacrifice our own home lives and work evenings and weekends to get it done, so I just want to thank them as well. And my third thing is, if you've got an NZNO branded sign or a flag, please don't take it home. They are like Grandma's precious antiques. They need to stay with us and we want to keep them for future actions, okay? Thanks everyone.
Bradley just kind of stole it in the same way. I just, as a delegate, would like to thank our NZNO organisers, Francis, Bradley, Sandy, Nigel, who's not here, he's swan off on holiday. You guys are amazing, and we wouldn't, as delegates, been able to organise this without all the work that you do behind the scenes. So I'd like everybody to give them a big hand. Thank you, Paul, for coming along today. We really appreciate having you here. And I would also like us to give a big hand to those nurses who have supported LPS so that we can all be. Thank you, and you guys rock.
Sorry, I've been trying to get some confidence to speak. I'm a CCD.
Like an ice cream. I'm a CCDM coordinator. My name is Bryony. I'm also a union member. That's why we're here. I just wanted to speak a little bit about CCDM since we've been talking about that. And I know trend care is everyone's favourite application, but it is also the tool that the CCDM program uses to collect the reality of our clinical environment. So I just want to really do a big emphasis that trend care is a tool for us to use to highlight our reality. So So if you are not using it or you're ambivalent about using it, you really need to think seriously about how your clinical area reflects your reality into dream care, so that we have that irrefutable evidence of our short staffing. There's other tools that then fill into the void, I guess, in terms of like the on-the-day variance with your VIS and your short staffing datexes, but in terms of the long-term FTE calculations, dream care is your tool. So I know we talked about our NZNO ratio that you can have up to one NZNO representative for every 10 staff members. The same goes for dream care. So I also wanted to do a bit of a shout out for our dream care champions that are here today, because they do a lot of hard work behind the scenes that doesn't get recognised, because it's a big job being a dream champion. You have to quality test your colleagues, which can be quite hard work, as you probably already know. So if there's any dream care champions here, I would also like to get everyone to show a bit of appreciation for them. And if you are interested in data and analytics and how we reflect our reality into the program, it's definitely a good role to get involved in as well.
Thank you, that was an excellent summary of that system. And also, I just want to say that I'd like to thank all the healthcare assistants and midwives as well. Maria to do her closing. Thank you.
It really does my heart proud to see so many of you come today and support us as a union. I also wanted to thank you for being here, for committing to us and to the union to uphold all the things that we put forward to Kareki Pakamutina, Yakai Yakaka Katoya, Fire Katamari, I different. Mikialha, Yatua, Mikipina Tavana, Itiwaiuka, Aki, Akia,
So thank you so much, and now if we can make our way back for those that want to come back and pick it on that outside of Braemar and just show solidarity for your parents. Thank you.
Let's Carry it. Take it. കിട്ടിയില്ല ഇതിന്റെ മുന്നിൽ
No, what?
Who's loud? Anyone walking back up the hill want a loud hailer?
Where are they? Oh, there.
Yell.
I don't think that's a yell. Okay, let's go. Off we go. Off we go. നമുക്ക് അതുവഴി പോയിട്ട് Sorry. Oh yeah, I'm like, why?
I remember speaking to Jan about electrifying the access. She was saying.
See, that's why I'm telling you.
We've done what we need to do. Get rain.
Well, paid that for your umbrella.
On the corner.
No, I know it's horrible. നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലെ മ്യൂസിക് ഇല്ലേ വന്നത് നടന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ
ആ എന്തൊക്കെയാ പറഞ്ഞ ഞങ്ങള് പുറത്തുനിന്ന് മാസം ജോലിക്ക് വരുന്ന അല്ല എന്തെന്നാണ് പറഞ്ഞു I just saw Rebecca.